Greetings viewers, Brad here back with not quite an episode of the Budget Adventure Show. Just quiet Sunday, haven't been camping in a couple of weeks and just wanted to get on the bike and get out in the bush and go for a bit of a ride and give a little bit of a channel update, answer a couple of questions that people started filing through the channel and social media, and yeah, a couple of things like that. Mainly just get out, enjoy the bush for a bit of the day. So it is forecast for a bit of heat today. Yesterday I was supposed to get to 37 and it only got to 35. Today it's supposed to be 38. That last little gasp of summer, so only in a light gear. Not going to give it too much of a flogging through here because I don't want to come off. But yeah, summer's still holding on a little bit, which is making for some great camping conditions. The nights are getting down, sometimes getting right down to just about the single digits at 10, 11, 9 degrees, so perfect for camping at night. And daytime you can still sort of get in the water and have a bit of a swim. So yeah, I suppose one question that's come up in the past, why this big bike and why off-road? Again, don't really want to give it too much here. I've just had that rear shock replaced. Anyone that's been watching along for the last few episodes or over the Christmas break anyway would know that I've had the issue of the rear shock going. Starting to get a little bit of weeping from the front fork seals now as well, I think. So it's just a shame. Like the capacity of this bike, the ability of the bike, I'd have no problem jumping on it tomorrow, loading it up and going up over Omeo to the coast, or even go north. I'd love to go up and head back to Broken Hill. Unfortunately, be the tar and not the Ivanhoe through to Indy and up that way. So I'm sort of up in an iron whether to keep the bike, keep it as a sort of a longer touring vehicle, and find something that you don't have to be on all day for heading up into the high country and that, because there's a lot of the high country, Wadden-Gatta, Billy Goat's Bluff, a lot of that sort of area, and over the other side in the Gippsland that I've just never done before, never done in a four-wheel drive. Would love to do on a bike just because I reckon you can cover more ground and see a little bit more in a day than what you would in a four-wheel drive. Soft there, some sandy shit. Yeah, so couple options. Love to get a WR250R, but they're a bit out of the price range at the moment. The RZ400 sort of getting down in price a bit if you're looking for the mid 00s, 05, 06, 07, sort of look around the $5,000 mark, or a little bit under for that. There's an old workhorse, the XR400 98 model on marketplace at the moment for $2,700 that I'm really considering. Just good old-fashioned tractor, really. So oh, I'd love to jump these. Last time I was up here I did jump these little spoonies when I had my back shock fucked, and I can tell you, I felt it every time she landed. Yeah, again, that 245 kilo wet weight, it's a shame. Love to do all this a lot quicker, but don't get taken out by four-wheel drive. Try and get through this fucking ditch without bottoming the shit out. There we go. Again, an enduro bike or something a bit lighter, you just jump over that. Oh, the butterflies are friendly today. Moving on, another question or another issue I've had online. air quotes the bongo van. Not so much the bongo van build series, but the trip I done down the river. I think that was episode 2. Episode 2 or 3, whatever it was anyway. People taking issue to me calling it a bongo van when obviously, and for those that don't know, the bongo branding on vehicles or those vans was for the Mazda E-Series vans and that, and not the Toyota Spacia. So I've tried to reassure people that got their hair up a little bit about me calling it a bongo van. No more. Whenever I reference it, it's going to be the Spacia. I think I said in the very first video when I got her out of the shed that it was the family car. Us kids, we always just call it the bongo van, so that's what it stayed. Bit of a hill climb here. This is probably the best hill climb we've got in this area, so I'm going to do it anyway. But it's also handy, I don't have anything on the back. So yeah, bongo van no more. If you head over El Dorado, Springhurst, south towards Wangaratta. Looking north, Wodonga's just over there, Barney's at the bottom of the hill, Howlong, and looking north over there. But I suppose any locals that see this are going to know exactly where I am. They call this the power line track. I think every forest up the eastern seaboard's got a power line track. It's just one of those things. So wherever you got power lines going through the bush, normally they're only serviced by basic four-wheel drive roads. Four-wheel drives use them and open them up a bit more. As you can see, a few years ago they put a gas pipeline in, so that's why it's a bit more opened up than maybe any other line tracks would be with just these single-phase power lines. Oh, what a jump! We'll go down to Magenta Mine. There's probably going to be a few people here, but anyway, we'll head down. No one's here. Something a bit different. Magenta Mine, I think episode 2, season 2 of the show. We come out here and put the drone down the mine, but I think pretty much what you see on the video is what's here, so might go down and do a loop. What other questions have I had online? Well, not so much questions, a bit of a channel question to you, I suppose. I've mentioned before I didn't want to make it a sole moto vlog. whatever channel. There's some plans in motion at the moment that I'll be able to get out in a couple of other vehicles. Unfortunately, looking back over the last couple of seasons, the getting out in the patrol, four-wheel driving and camping in remote somewheres where the views have been. It also helps if you throw in a landmark or a certain movie that people know and want to see more of. But yeah, oh, neutral. And I know you're always going to have people subscribe to your channel that are just there to see what you're up to for the week, the month, the video, and they don't really care what you sort of do. Then you've got the other members that I'm sure the people that have only signed up or subscribed because of the full driving and patrol. Oh, dry throat. I'm sure that people that only subscribe because they're motorcycle enthusiasts or adventure riders and want to see that sort of thing. Sometimes you can paint a pretty wide brush with your videos and might keep some people happy, but not everyone. Probably recognise this spot. We had the patrol up here for its spotlight, had the motorbike up here for its spotlight, and it's only fitting I come up here and take some photos of the girl for listed on Marketplace. See how it goes. So I'm going to stop and take some photos and stop waffling, and we'll get back on the bike. Back on the bike in a minute. I suppose that's another question that's come up every now and then too. The bandana. Obviously I'm not a wild hog. I sort of think of it like your boots. You're spending not so much that helmet. My other helmet's just over $500 worth. I'm essentially wearing a sock on my head just so after 12 months it doesn't stink like sweat and long hair all through it. So people probably do, but I wouldn't wear boots or shoes without socks, just to try and absorb some of that foot stank as well. So that's why the bandana's on mainly. I've got a cold leather one for winter that covers the face and that and neck, merino wool or cotton or something it is. But yeah, I just have these fruity things. Got them for COVID for a face mask originally, and kept them on as a bandana. Bit of a head sock for when you're wearing the helmet. Not the best having the panniers on for tighter stuff like this. I can just see one day going around a bit of a corner, cutting close to a tree like that, and clipping it, falling off, suddenly stopping, or all the above. But as I said before, I wanted to take some photos of it up in the hills, so I could advertise her on Marketplace, and I needed to have the panniers on, otherwise they would have stayed at home. So this one here is a personal favourite of mine. Slaughter Yard track goes up over the hill behind Barney down to the Chiltern Howlong Road, which we won't quite get to. Down here we'll cut back onto like a stringy bark that heads that way. Okay, good little track. You'd have some fun on here. A little single banger. And like, no problems. Benelli loves it. It apart from those shocks going, which could have been manufacturer's error. They could have just been duds out of China, or it could have been from carrying too much weight on it. I'll never know. But the Christmas trip I'd done up over Omeo Highway and then back up over the back of Dartmouth to Narrial Valley and Walwa, it sort of opened my eyes halfway through with that shock being buggered and causing the chain to slap. Now doing this sort of thing it's alright, but if I go up to Blue Rag, not that I probably would, we'll go back. If I go back up and do the Omeo Highway again, any sort of those stupid little breakages, I drop the bike and bust a clutch lever, Yeah, maybe chain, although it's just had a new chain put on it. Sprockets. Any other stupid things like that. Foot lever. Any of that sort of parts that has to come from overseas. You're looking at weeks, maybe even a couple of months for that stuff to get here through the dealer. You could use AliExpress, which get a lot of parts out of China and normally a bit cheaper as well, but it's not. I've been watching a guy on YouTube. He's got a DR650 and goes to some good long trips around, and he where was it? Oh, he was out in the middle of nowhere anyway, and I think he come into Mount Isa and he needed to get new rear tyre put on, and they put a new rear tyre on, found the bearings had a bit of play, a bit of rattle in them, so shopped around. They managed to get a set of bearings for it that day in Mount Isa, out in the middle of nowhere. Oh, it's a spider web. So, and that's just a case for the DR. Honda, KTM maybe, Yamaha sort of. I don't think that's a track anymore. Again, on a smaller, nimbler bike, that would be a track, but look, this bike has oil filters in that front and sensors, and even though I've got the bash plate on, it is itself a Chinese made item from AliExpress to fit the Benelli, so we won't do that today. But just having a bit of peace of mind when you are out on a trip. You want to go out on a trip, you want to enjoy yourself, you want to see the sights, you want to have fun. Yes, sometimes things go wrong, and knock on wood, even with the patrol, apart from that front end wheel shutter, which only seemed to happen at home and around this area, I never had any problems with it. And again, that comes down to maintenance. If you don't maintain your shit, it's going to break. And just sort of having a bit of forethought to prepare for when stuff like that goes wrong. Now, of course, you're not going to be able to carry, well, you don't need to carry spare fan belts, CVs, any of that sort of stuff on the bike. Obviously the big one's a tube, even though this runs tubeless tyres, so in that case you'd have your tyre plugs, a way of re-inflating a tyre, whether it's CO2 gas, 12 volt compressor, depends on how much weight you want to carry on board, I suppose, but yeah, little things like that can put you peace of mind when you go away for long trips. Now, I don't want to gospel on about this shit because I haven't done a lot on the bike, honestly. Just seeing what others have done. Obviously, if you're watching me, you've definitely seen Riding with Tom and seen like 19-day trippies on now, out the Red Centre, Simpson Desert up to the Cape and back down, coming back down the East Coast now, which is epic, and I'd love to do something like that one day. Well, I'm still trying to get to Cape York, but here's the old Indigo Goldfield Cemetery. I don't know if there's, oh yeah, there's a couple of headstones here. We'll go have a quick look while we're in the area. Yeah, so I'm still trying to get to the bloody Cape York. I really wanted to do a Birdsville track or Strzelecki track into the Flinders this Easter. I'd love to go and do it on the, oh, this is the gate. That's where the gate would have been. I don't see any headstones. Oh look, a no tent sign. So you can have the hammock here, obviously. 1858. Were marked with carved pieces of timber. Sadly, many of the markers rotted, and those remaining were removed for firewood in the mid-1930s. Good on you. Current process see the dominant boundary of the cemetery. So there's a heap of people buried in that plot there, but there's no headstones anymore to mark where the graves are. So I dare say foxes, if there are any bones out there, they've probably been picked up, but I'm not going to go and walk across that. Respect for the dead. It was hard times back then. It's bad enough living in this area now with air conditioning, heating, the creature comforts. But yeah, harsh time mining. And it's just a shame the budget at the moment can't really let me have two bikes. End of last year, put the wife on the back and we went up the River Road to Gingerlic pub for the night. Booked a cabin for the night, rode up, had tea at the pub, come back the next morning. Bloody fantastic. Even though it was her first time on a bike since 08 when I had my licence the first time. And yeah, need the filler and a couple of riding techniques as a pillion passenger. Leaning in corners, not trying to fight the bike, all those fun things. Yeah. And again, I've been able to do long trips like that on this bike with a nice comfy seat, but for talking out my arse probably, but for a couple of $100, more like 800, you could probably get a seat concept seat made up for a DR or an XR or WR, just to help the arse out. Speaking of arse, push bikers. Definitely seen a lot more, even people walking out here. So go down here, we'll go the other way. We'll get ready to finish up. Not a lot more to talk about, I suppose. Another little bit on the channel too, sort of thrown up in the air. Obviously have the episodes, those episodes have a equipment check segment, which is mainly a unsponsored bit of a review on a bit of gear I use. Not unsponsored of course, as I said, love to one day, but one day. And of course the cooking segment as well. It's a whole sort of been thinking, because it does fill the episode out a fair bit too, and then having it in the episode and then posting it again on YouTube as a separate video. Sometimes those equipment checks or the budget kitchen gets more views, a lot more views than what the episode itself gets. Case in point, the diesel heater, not diesel heater, sorry, the Ozpig. That video's up over 5,000 views. Probably more now. Obviously people wanted to see a review of the Ozpig, a name brand. A lot of people have them, a lot of them out there. I don't know whether just do the reviews and the cooking segments as a separate thing like that and release separately like I have been. But in the actual episode itself, just sort of touch on like the last video. Fucking bees. Like the last video, when I had that quick portable tent, which I don't think I set up correctly, which is why it wasn't a 5-second tent. I could just have video of me setting the tent up. Bees! Oh, the smell of honey. Need to do a bit of a Yogi Bear there. Go and dip me paw in. Yum yum. But yeah, I just have have a little bit of me cooking what I'm cooking and what I'm eating, but don't really go too far or too deep into it, and just to have a bit of separateness from what's in the actual episode itself and what's done or released on YouTube separately. So we'll see. I might toy around with it a little bit again. Any comments or suggestions you might have, please put them down in the comment section below. Seen a lot of chatter going around online, adventure riding groups, adventure bike groups, that sort of thing, of people either having issues with quad locks or asking about quad locks and mounting GPSs or phones to your bike. That is just an eBay special. I think it costs $10. If I know I'm doing anything rougher, like that hill climb I done earlier, yeah, maybe I'll take it off and put it in my top pocket. I don't really use the phone for navigation while I'm riding anyway. I'll do a bit of research before I go, and yeah, if I need to reference the map again, normally I've got a paper map or I've got a HEMA book I'll throw in the backpack of the bike, and I'll check. I've got a GPS app, I've got gear maps, I've got ASMO and maps on my phone, which all have fairly detailed maps, and I just take a screen cap of the route with them, so you don't have to worry about having phone reception. Or, as I posted all the way back in season 1, the good old handy CFA Vic Emergency app with the oh, that's a hole. Vic Emergency app with all the fire maps on there, which shows you pretty much everything, including private roads. So always be careful of that. That's been on the bike, just clocked over 15,500 k's, and that's been on the bike the whole time. It does have its own USB power supply to it that you've got to wire up, which I've just done that to fuse with the battery. There is a switch on it so you can turn it off if it's going to be wet or something, just so you don't get a short. The Benelli does have an factory USB 5 amp plug there, but I've never used it. I've always got that there. And it's just a spring-loaded, push them down and it opens, grabs up, and then it's just there on friction, and yeah. Going for a couple $100, whatever the quad lock is, and then you've got to use their phone case as the mounting system as well, where that case, I've got my driver's license, I've got 2 bank cards and a Flybuys card in there, just whenever I'm travelling or at work, whatever else, to carry with me. The days of carrying a big wallet in the back pocket are truly over. I think that might do it for this video. Not a proper episode in itself. March's episode will be coming. I'm heading it next weekend. It's going to be a lot cooler, and it'll most likely be a spacier trip, either down the river again, or I might find something. If my new toy arrives during the week, I'll take that, and we'll take the new Mitsubishi Mirage budget camping at its finest for a drive somewhere, and do a bit of a spotlight on that. Even though 2002 Mitsubishi Mirage, got it from work for nothing, bloke brought it in the scrapyard. So yeah, that it's gonna game changer, I think, for what I want to do moving forward. The only real reason I'm trying to get a couple of spacier videos in early and quicker is because it's Reggio's only got well, April Reggio expires on that, and because the donor car I got, which is still registered, it's on gas and the gas system's expired. It's going to be a big job getting that on the road, so I've got to work out which one I want to keep on the road and which one's going to be used as spare parts. But that's a space here. I might do another van build episode later in the future if there's a bit of time between innings the videos I release. So yeah, I think it was last video. The goal was to get to 500 subscribers this season. Once my new toy gets here, once I work out what I'm doing with the bike, we're going to get out, we're going to go and actually have a bit more adventure instead of just going down out to the local bush and down to the river where I've been so many times. Going to get out, we're going to do an overnight somewhere and eat well and have some good toys to play with along the way. So I hope we've just hit 225, so halfway there. I'm going to try and get these videos out more frequent, just to get a bit of focus on the channel. YouTube algorithm as it is, the more videos you put out, obviously the more they feature it and that sort of stuff, or however the hell that works. But yeah, as I said before, I'm not a view hound, not a sub hound. I'm just out having fun, doing what I love doing, and documenting it as I do it. So again, another quick little trip. I hope you've enjoyed the video, enjoyed getting out the bike. Pigeon bloody bush pigeons. Oh, I hit a crow. Might have been a currawong actually the other day on the way to work too. Oh, work. I suppose that's another thing before we finish out. Changed jobs, back on the highway driving trucks again, so hours are going to be a lot different, and hopefully it shouldn't affect getting out on weekends. I was kind of hoping one job I was looking at, you actually worked over the weekend and you had normally Monday, Tuesday or Tuesday, Wednesday as your weekend, which would suit really well because I'd be able to go up to a lot of places that are busy on weekends because everyone else has got their weekend then, and I could virtually, apart from some great nomads or whatever else, I could probably have the place to myself. And if you get up in the high country and that during the week, it's not between a long weekend or something, and you'd probably have a good chance of not seeing too many four-wheel drives. So they're all plans for the future anyway. We'll see how this job goes first, and see if I can get another four-wheel drive, even just a cheapo that I can do some overnight stuff with. But a little bit of sand. I think that's been in long enough. Long-winded, bloated outro, of course, because I don't know how to finish these things off. But yep, thanks for watching. Subscribe button's there. Give the video a like. Again, any comments, any questions, throw them down in the comment section. Sometimes email notifications aren't very quick, so I will get to them eventually. I'll respond to every comment, and yeah, we'll get a bit of dialogue going and have a chat. I might concentrate here, this seems a pain in the ass. So yeah, that's me. That's Brad for the Budget Adventure Show. I'm out of here for the day, for the week, and I'll see you in the next video, whatever, whenever, wherever that's going to be.